Universal Studios Hollywood announced about a month ago that they would be closing Jurassic Park the ride in favor of a new Jurassic World attraction using the same ride layout that was provided by the Jurassic Park ride. The fan reaction on this has been mixed, with some fans being completely against this, saying that the park is taking away one of the best rides it's ever had, and other people being for it, saying that they really are looking forward to the ride getting a new, fresh update. Personally, I land on the latter side of this argument, as I believe that this ride could end up being one of Universal's best rides in years. And I have 3 reasons to back this argument up.
Time. The ever-flowing river.
The first argument I have is that it's gonna use the same ride system that Jurassic Park the ride had, which is one of the most technologically advanced and innovative rides in history, period. This being said, you have to imagine that the ride's going to end up being very similar to this ride, a ride that is arguably one of the best rides in Universal Studios Hollywood, if not in any Universal Studios park in general. It's just an amazing, amazing ride. It's a ride that's brought so much excitement and terror and fun to the guests have rode it in its 25 plus year history that it's been able to stand the test of time and still is regarded as one of the best rides in the park. Now, hearing that they're going to take the elements of the ride that have changed over time, those being the animatronics that have kind of decayed and the latex on them has kind of started to fall off, the fact that they're changing this and then they're adding new stuff onto the pre-existing ride should automatically be a plus regardless of how you view this ride or how you view this change.
Time. The ever-flowing river.
The second reason I have for why this ride is going to be amazing is because of the animatronics. I recently saw a behind-the-scenes featurette for the new Jurassic World movie, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and in it, they showed how they used animatronics and puppets to make the dinosaurs seem like they were real. And watching this featurette made it abundantly clear that if Universal just uses the same technology that they brought together to make the Jurassic World films, they could very easily make this ride have some of the best animatronics that we've ever seen on a ride in general. I mean, we've seen what Disney's been able to do with their animatronics in recent years with Navi River Journey and how lifelike that animatronic is. Now let's see what Universal can do in their parks with a giant animatronic. I mean, we've already saw what they can do with Kong at the end of that ride. That animatronic's great. Now, why not bring in the technology they'd used for the movies, bring that in, and use their prior experience like they used for the animatronic on Kong? For its time, these animatronics that were used for Jurassic Park the ride were already top-notch, incredible. However, these could somehow manage to bring this ride back to the top of its technological game and come back to what the ride was, praised for when it first came out. My only concern for the animatronics is that in the featurette about the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom practical effects, they showed that a lot of their animatronics were controlled by puppeteers. Obviously, on the ride, that's not going to be an option. They have to be completely automated in their movement. So there's a possibility that there's going to be some loss in reality there, or in realism, if they can't replicate the puppeteers as well as they can. However, I'm pretty confident that they'll find a way to make it look as realistic as they possibly can, and that should be enough.
Time. The ever-flowing river.
The final reason I think this ride could be one of Universal's best in years is because of screens. Now, I know you're saying, ugh, screens, we have enough of those. We don't want another ride getting turned into a screen ride. Well, obviously this is not going to be a screen ride. It's going to stay, the water ride with the animatronics throughout. It's going to be the same thing. However, I do believe that they could very well integrate some screens throughout the ride. And obviously it's not going to turn it over into a screen ride. They're not going to go overboard with it. They're gonna splice them in, and they're gonna add to the experience. They're gonna put these screens in areas where either one, there isn't an animatronic, or they can't put an animatronic, and they are gonna put them in there when there wasn't anything there before, and they're gonna add to the experience using them. Now, if there's anyone I trust to do something like this, splice in screens to a slow-moving ride and still kind of keep the immersion, it's Universal. They have more experience with screen rides than anyone in the industry at this point. And I'm sure with this much experience, they're going to find a way to integrate screens to that ride to add to the suspense, to add to the fun, to add to the thrills without taking guests out of the ride. So all in all, do not sleep on the new Jurassic World ride. And you can still be upset for losing the Jurassic Park ride, but understand that this new ride is going to be very similar to that one, but just significantly more technologically advanced and just better in pretty much every way. So don't sleep on it and check it out when it comes out, because honestly, it's going to be one of Universal's best rides in years.